is, doesn't matter what bull bar you've got, if you're not watching where you're driving and ready to take evasive action, if you hit a cow or a big roo or anything else big, you're going to have an insurance claim anyway, and it may spoil your trip. So you just really got to consider carefully when deciding if you're going to put a bull bar on, and what time of the day you're going to travel, things like that anyway. So today we're traveling south from Tiboburra down. As I said in another video, the highway is sealed now. You can see some fairly new bits. Literally just opened on the 1st of July 2020. We drove on it the first day it was open, and so we're heading back down. Got a few more k's to go, and we're going to turn off to White Cliffs, which is dirt road. I believe about another, I don't know, 150, 200, 170 k's maybe. A bit relaxed about it, so it doesn't matter. And then this road, I believe, is sealed from there down to Wilcannia, etc. So yeah, and head down there. If there's anything exciting to see, like a cow stepping out or anything else, I'll let you know. Roads like this really good because they're nice and open. You can see what's on the side. There's other roads, and look, I believe they should all be like this for safety. You know, they build all these safety barriers, all the money they spend to do that. It's probably cheaper to keep a really good clearing at the side like this. This is actually really awesome. What I'm a bit nervous about, what I don't like, is those roads where there's a lot of bushes built up along the sides. That's where there can be, and I mean pretty close to the side of the road, and there can be cows, horses, camel, whatever you like, standing behind those bushes about to step out. So we're positive of keeping the vehicle light without too many modifications. It can brake quicker and it's more agile to make a slight detour to miss something, which we've usually always been able to do if you're travelling, taking notice, expecting these things, and prepared to take action. And of course, travelling in good daylight hours where possible. Travelling at night, it's kind of like asking for trouble. It's going to end in tears, you know what I mean? You want to make sure you get one of those really good bull bars, but something else could get bent. So there's some pretty nice looking bull bars around these days. I'm just not sure how much protection they're really going to give. There is, don't think of the standard bump bar as just a bit of plastic. There is a steel reinforcement in behind there as well, so it's not like putting one of those low steel bull bars is going to give you much at all. Look, some people are doing it so they can add a winch sort of thing, so it depends what you're doing. If you think you need to get out winching, you know, fair enough, but I always say go when the conditions are right. Take another vehicle and you know, try and avoid these things, because after all, mud equals money, and that's where you end up winching anyway, if the winch works when you want to use it. Anyway guys, we're nearly down to our turn-off. We've got a couple of k's to go. Getting Henry Roberts Road, I believe, in a couple of k's, and bada bing, bada boom. Another one. Gonna stay there. He was going to run out, that's why we stopped. He came from that side. That's what you got to do, keep an eye out. Sometimes what you can do if you don't want to deal with the dust and rocks, depending what the situation is, you can pull over on the clean side of the road, so you're out of the dust, out of the rock spray. Bada bing. Depending how busy the road is and what the conditions are like. I'm not saying that needed to be done here, just putting ideas out there. This road's in pretty good condition, so this is the road. Yeah, we turned off, like I said, it's about 100 k's south of Tiboburra. Takes you into White Cliffs. The road's in pretty smooth condition, a little bit corrugated in places. Yeah, you could probably take a caravan and that down there if you wanted to, but I'm not a fan of taking caravans on dirt roads, because to be honest, I think it just shakes everything to pieces. They're not made that well. And I'll be looking forward to seeing in the comments on what brands and models you think are made that well, that you can give them an absolute shakedown all the way around Australia, and no dust comes in, and you don't have any problems, nothing falls apart, because I'm yet to hear of them. Bit breezy out here, sorry about that. Check out that, eh? K's north still, heading towards White Cliffs, so I'll give you a bit of a look and an update on the track or road conditions. There is some rough bits. Apparently there's been a lot of rain out here lately. When I say lately, not in the last week, but there's quite a bit of green around, and you can tell underfoot where I've stopped and walked off the road. Pretty soft underfoot, a little bit, and still quite dusty and dry now, but apparently there has been quite a bit of rain lately. This is start of July 2020, so possibly late June it was, mid to late June. There was another one we went through and had a whole heap of water sitting in it in a bit of a hole, so it definitely has had some rain. Like I said, one person told me quite a bit of rain lately. That was in Melbourne before we left. They said this area they've had a lot of rain, but then, you know, a lot of areas got missed, that's for sure, because, you know, just listening on the radio and that, all the local farmers and that are saying there's a lot of areas that got missed. Country, just because one part's wet doesn't mean the rest is too. So very dry out here. I don't know why you'd bother running cattle or whatever. There's, again, big country, and there's plenty of places that are wet, there's grass growing and that, there's plenty of room, I reckon. So why you would bother, it just seems ridiculous, you know, that how far you got to travel, the lack of water. Now you can see that patch there, see where it kind of looks a bit, it's not wet, but it's quite dusty, but see, it's got that real redness to it. There's kind of a bit of moisture in it, I think. So yeah, as far as the road conditions, look, you can bring a caravan up here, yeah. As I said before, I probably wouldn't, depends, you know, like an off-road caravan maybe, you know, just depends what, you know, whatever. It's just that, like any other typical dirt road, at the start it looked really smooth, where you go, oh yeah, you could take a two-wheel drive up here, and you probably could, you'd get through this at the moment in a two-wheel drive, but this bit here is nice. But there's been some patches along the way that, yeah, probably from that rain and people driving on it, a little bit chopped up, but nothing you wouldn't get through at the moment while it's dry, as long as the car didn't fall to pieces, you know. There is some big rocks and that around, a few bigger ones, so yeah, we've got an oncoming, here we go, and it's a Prado, and he does a big swerve, yeah, oh yeah, bit of a manoeuvre to get out the way, got an oncoming, so yeah, alright. other spot here. Quite a few, quite a bit of water comes through this area here. I don't know, about 50 k's north. Just give you a bit of a look. There's quite a few places where, yeah, the water rips through here when it does rain. That we've been crossing through. So yeah, a lot of water does come down through this area when it rains, by the looks of it. Quite a lot of creeks and washouts all in one particular area. quite, you notice a dip anywhere? I haven't. Can't quite see a dip anywhere on that one, but quite common they have those signs, and that's basically where the road drops down. There's like a creek or something where the water passes through. Same with these grids. The grids are not usually too bad. It just depends. Sometimes the entry to the edge of the blacktop at each side, so you got to pick your side. In this case, it looks a bit better to the right here. Right, not bad. Over the grid's all right, and then you can have a bit of a dodgy drop off. But that one was really good. You need to be careful of those. Keep an eye out. And away we go again. We slowed down to about 70 k's to go over that one anyway. But as I said, it's been wet through here lately. That's why you can see all this mud and mess. There's a few ruddy areas. You got to be careful of that. Beautiful. Okay, we got some cows. We got some cows. A bit of cow action again, eh? Bit of cow action. Here we go. Oh, he's coming out. He wants to come and have a taste. Yeah. A few little ones. Yep, crossing on. Nice and green around here too. I can see why they're there. So we're just south of White Cliffs, heading towards Will Canyon. This is about 43 k's north of Will Canyon. Can confirm the road is sealed, been that way for a fair while, so it's in reasonably good condition. You can definitely take a caravan up and down there if you like. If you were, you know, down south and you sort of want to pop up to White Cliffs for a visit or to stay the night, there is a dusty caravan park there by the looks of it. A few people there, so yeah, and a couple of hills up there to drive around, sell you some opals. There's a pub in town with some limited meals. I think it's a one-page menu, about 10 or 12 items, mainly steak type things for 25 to 30 bucks, and the kids' meals are 13, like half a schnitzel or a, you know, nuggets and chips type thing. And you got a general store on the corner. They do basic meals and that, like burgers and steak sangers. A little shop there with a small amount of supplies in there, and that's also the information centre apparently. So that's, you know, there's fuel there. The servo's behind there. There is fuel there. Small town, not much there. Mainly opals. Hopefully that's been helpful for you. If there's anything else between Tiboburra and Will Canyon you need to know about, I'll add it on for you soon. If you haven't already, subscribe, turn that bell on so you can get notified when we put our next touring information up, so you can gather all your information for the Australian Outback. Oh, you want to know the name of the road? Opal Miners Way. And maybe it wasn't all sealed a long time ago, because this part doesn't look as old as